All right. So today I am with Brandon James, James Clark, and Effie Passero of CelloVoci. How y'all doing today?
Great, thanks.
Very
How are
well.
you?
Good, good. So first off, tell me, how excited are y'all that your debut album, Happy Days, is finally out for the world to see? Or here, it's an album, duh.
I mean, you can
To
look at
hear.
it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to.
We're thrilled. It's our first collaborative recording project together. We actually have one duet we recorded on a Christmas album that James and I released 2 years ago with Effie. So to have a full length recording with 11 tracks on it is really special to us because we've been not working under the name CelloVoci, but collaborating together quite a lot since 2020. And to have this, these timestamps of recordings that will live forever in a group is really exciting for me.
I already want to do more.
Yeah,
We do more.
me too. I'm excited to keep going.
Definitely. So tell me a little bit more about what the concept of Happy Days is and what listeners can expect.
Over to you.
Oh, okay. Okay, the concept of Cellovoci and what listeners can expect. Well, okay, so the three of us are classically trained musicians. Brandon is a magnificent tenor, I'm a soprano, and then of course we have cello over here. And we really loved the concept of bringing classical music to new listeners
Mhm.
in a kind of like easy to comprehend way. I feel like it's an exciting new way to bring classical music to a new ear and also bring a little nostalgia along the way. We do a lot of classic tunes that people have come to know and love their entire lives, but then we kind of join forces and create new arrangements that still have that original zhuzh, but we add a little bit more zhuzh to it. So I think our listeners can expect to be kind of taken aback at first, but
Mhm.
then as they ease into it and really listen, and maybe their second or third time listening to some of our songs, that they'll realize just how much it makes them feel like home, even though
Okay.
it's different. Um, it'll be a journey. I think
Yeah,
listeners will be taken on a little journey.
awesome. And what about Happy Days, the album? What can listeners expect from that?
Oh, I mean, this the same.
About
Yeah,
the same?
Yeah.
Okay,
I,
okay.
it's mostly maybe what Effie was speaking to. I think that it's time for James to answer this question.
We really wanted people to have something to take it home with them for after they hear us perform, really, or to to be able to experience what we do when they're if they can't get to one of our shows. So I think that the album really feels like kind of a live show, even though it's all studio based. But it's a and by that I really mean it's a collection of um songs from across the board. There's some Broadway, there's some pop, there's some rock, there's of course a classical twist of almost all of it. And there's things that highlight just Brandon and I. There's things that highlight Effie. There's things that highlight Effie and I. There's like it's we sometimes refer to our shows as musical chairs, and we even thought about calling ourselves that because we're all over the place all the time. We all play the piano, and on the album you get all of that. And so yeah, we kind of really wanted to kind of translate our live cello bocce show into something that people could listen to at home.
Awesome. And how has the album been received so far?
So far, so good. I think for the most part, we did get one review from London the other day, um, where someone said that we're much better at the slow and sad than we are at up and
What's the word he used?
uppity happy songs, which
Yes.
is no
Jollity.
which is no surprise to us because we always joke that we're just good at making people cry, which is the truth.
It is the truth.
There you
Um,
It's
go.
not really sad as in a downer the whole time, but it's very heartfelt.
Yeah.
Most of our
It's
stuff is very
contemplative and cleansing even because people
Yeah.
do cry a lot because our music conjures emotion.
Yeah. Awesome. So that's ultimately what you would say you hope audiences take away from your music. You want them to feel something, feel emotion.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It might be joy, it might be sadness, it might be melancholy, it might be, I don't know, anger even. It could be anything. I always say that I want people to feel something
Yeah.
Mhm.
when they see us.
Just feel something. Yes, yes. Now, y'all released the album's first single, an epic version of the chart topper, The Prayer, last month. Why was that song chosen to be the first to be released?
Well, it was the first song that Effie and I and James ever performed together in a collaborative virtual concert. Special to us for that reason. And it's also so representative of what we do as classically trained singers, of people who've, Effie and I have studied the Italian language and Italian operatic repertoire for so long. And what we all do as classical musicians, it's really a perfect example of bringing pop and classical music together in a way that Bocelli and Celine Dion did on the original record.
Okay, awesome. All right, so what was it like putting together Happy Days, and how long did this project take?
I would say the project, I mean, for months we'd kind of been performing-ish together and working things out anyway. So there was like a lot of preliminary things that happened quite naturally just because we were performing together anyway. So there was that to take into consideration. But then in January of this year, we were in Puerto Vallarta together, and that's when we were in the studio. So I guess it probably took 3 to 4 weeks. And then the producer had some time with it by himself, but we were kind of, yeah, together a few weeks in the studio, kind of laying all the stuff down.
Okay, perfect. And do each of you have a absolute favorite track from the album?
What's your favorite track?
I really, really love Come What May. So I'm gonna say, wait.
That's not on the album. We performed that.
Tomorrow.
It's on the concert, which is called Happy Days Are Here Again, which we're playing tomorrow.
Don't even know what I'm talking about. So whenever that comes out in the world, which we should probably record that at some point, chasing cars in the rows. I do really love that one, mostly because that is one for me that evokes a lot of emotion, and anytime we even sing it live, I can't look at them in the face because it just makes me swell up with emotion, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful arrangement. And I just, it just gets me in the feels every time.
Nice.
Yeah, I think my favorite song is your arrangement of You Are My Sunshine and Over the Rainbow. I never get tired of performing that. It's a very clever mashup, and again, it just kind of gives all the feels. We performed all over the Midwest, a couple tours now, one in the fall last year, one in the spring. And when we performed that in Kansas, oh my gosh, the people, they connected to it in a big way. It was beautiful. And that kind of solidified it in my mind as one of my favorites for sure. What's yours?
I love Say Something Fall on Me. It's the two songs by A Great Big World that we kind of mashed up together. And the reason being is that it's both so vulnerable and also so grand. And I think that's a perfect representative of what we do, is do things that are really small and emotional, but then we, with our operatic voices and the epic cello playing, we can really, get a big sort of grandiose sort of sound. And I like that song has both sides in it. It's not just all balls to the wall.
Awesome. Very nice. Well, Branden and James, you are a renowned cello vocal duo. And Effie, you're a vocalist and songwriter who competed on American Idol and worked with Postmodern Jukebox. How did y'all come together to create a CelloVoci?
Brandon and I have been going down to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico for 8 years now. Every winter we had done there, and
play a residency.
Yes, and to perform down there. And Effie, just in the beginning of 2020, was down there to perform with another performer, Spencer Day, right? Yeah, and so we kind of all found ourselves there right at the beginning of the pandemic, and then we found ourselves there quite a lot over the pandemic. So Effie ended up moving there full time, and Brandon and I were there for a good 5 months over the kind of Christmas, New Year, 2020, 2021. And so we had a ton of time together. We weren't able to perform all that often, depending on the regulations about how things were open or closed. And so we found ourselves with a lot of spare time and also playing a lot of virtual shows. And Brandon and I had done many of them over the course of about 12 months. And we were collaborating often with other people, and we heard Effie perform while we were down there, and we just fell in love with her immediately and kind of became friends, and just it was a natural progression to want to kind of perform together. Their voices are so meant for each other that it just was a natural progression that we wanted to play together. So we found ourselves doing a virtual show, and then we found opportunities to have Effie come and join us for a special guest at some holiday shows, and it just kind of snowballed on from that. And here we are a little bit later, playing a lot together and starting this venture as CelloVoci.
The first rehearsal we had together, she made us these incredible pot stickers that she'd rolled by hand. And she brought them over and stuck them in our fridge, and there was like 50 of them. And she's like, "This will last you a few days." And any kind of food is the way to my heart. So then I was like, "Screw the music, I don't care."
Love her, instant, love it. Awesome. Now you're about to next year you will branch on a new part of your tour. What can you tell us about that?
Well, so I'm not sure if this is time stamped or not, but on Thursday, October 17th, whether that's in the future, I don't know, we're sure this is airing. Tomorrow, it's tomorrow our time.
At the time of this interview, yeah, it'll be tomorrow.
Yes, we're making our debut at Carnegie Hall. So that's our first official concert as CelloVoci, which is very exciting. And we're just kind of forming a bunch of dates for next year. We have some things on the books, and we've just done a big showcase in Indianapolis a few weeks ago, and have a lot of promising prospects for the fall and spring of 26. But because we're a new group, we're kind of, the question is open-ended.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Big things will come. I know they will.
Big things will come, yes. Well, what are some future goals you really hope to accomplish within the next couple of years with CelloVoci?
We really want to write some original music together. Effie is an incredibly gifted songwriter. I kind of dabble a bit, and I think we've talked a lot about our ideas and sensibilities, and I have a feeling there's a couple of really good things that are going to be really well suited for our styles in there, especially with James' arranging skills on top of that. So I think writing some new music and putting our personal stamp on some original content is what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Well, how can one stay up to date with CelloVoci?
They can go to our website, cellovoci.com, and find out all of our upcoming tour dates. They can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at CelloVoci, and see all of our YouTube videos as well at CelloVoci. That's CelloVoci.
But we also have our individual pages as well. So you can look up Branden James, James Clark, and Effie Passero.
All right.
Yeah, Instagram is the easiest way to keep in touch with me. So
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you would like to mention or plug at this time?
No, not yet, but keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Perfect.